Hey everybody, welcome into the Nesson Studios. Michaela Vernava alongside Zach Cox here to preview Patriots Buccaneers going down tonight. Thursday night football, you know, they say you never know what can happen on a Thursday night, the old slogan from last year. I feel like tonight you really don't know what's going to happen this Thursday night. Certainly big news that we kind of just received before we got on here from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, both reporting that Rob Gronkowski will not play tonight, dealing with a thigh issue. So, Zach, let's start right there. How much of an impact that'll have on this game tonight?
Yeah, major impact and surprising impact too. I mean, Rob Gronkowski wasn't even added to the injury report until yesterday. He's dealing with he was listed as with a thigh issue. According to, I believe it was Adam Schefter, it's a thigh contusion. So it means he must have gotten a bruise on his thigh at some point within the last day or two. And then there was a report this morning, I believe, from Ian Rappaport that he was hurt and he was kind of limited, but he was expected to play. And now we just heard within the last half hour or so that he is not expected to play. So that is obviously a huge blow for this Patriots offense to not be without Julian Edelman, who's obviously out for the entire season with that torn ACL, and now to be without Rob Gronkowski, really your top two offensive weapons outside of Tom Brady. It's a huge blow, and everybody around him is going to have to step up.
And like you said, definitely a surprise. And the Patriots, of course, are working on a short week here.
Yep.
Was there anything in Sunday's game that made you think that maybe something had happened then to him? Because you said we kind of just found out about this yesterday, definitely coming as a surprise that he won't be playing tonight.
The most surprising part, though, is that the Patriots released 3 injury reports this week, as they have to every week, and Rob Gronkowski was not on the first 2. Right. So the Patriots, it was a much slower week than they usually have, since with the Thursday night game, they only had really 3 days of preparation for this. So yeah, but it's interesting to see that he wasn't. You'd think that if he had gotten banged up in the game on Sunday, that he would be on those earlier injury reports that he either missed practice or was limited. According to those, he was a full participant. So it seems like it was something that just happened yesterday, which is a real surprise, because the Patriots practice yesterday, I mean, we got to see a little bit of it. It was basically just a walkthrough. There was nothing really going on. So yeah, it's definitely a surprise. And
yeah, I mean, I almost want to say everyone's attention has been on the defense. I mean, that's pretty much all we've talked about all week, because there hasn't been much concern with the offense as far as the Patriots go. So much, but I mean, something happening to Rob Gronkowski isn't exactly something that's going to kind of fly under the radar. Something would pick up on pretty quickly.
The fact that it bumped right to the top of our rundown here is telling, because I think if this didn't happen, we'd probably be talking about Alan Branch being a healthy scratch, not even traveling to Tampa Bay, which is a pretty big deal, seeing as he was one of the Patriots' best defensive players last year. But yeah, Rob Gronkowski news trumps all, because he's a guy that Tom Brady and the Patriots can rely on no matter what else happens in the offense, no matter how many receivers they're down, no matter how many running backs they're missing. Rob Gronkowski is that constant when he's healthy, and now he's not healthy, now he's not going to be out there. That's going to take some big-time adjustments.
Yeah, definitely. And since you bring up Alan Branch, let's throw now to Doug Kyed. He is in Tampa and has some news on Alan Branch. So here's Doug.
Thanks, guys. Patriots have to hope that those cannons on that pirate ship over my shoulder are not going off in this game, because that means the Buccaneers are scoring touchdowns. Patriots defense have let up a ton of touchdowns already this season. They can't afford to let up too many more in this game against the Buccaneers. Patriots defense did leave themselves a little bit short-handed coming into this game. They left defensive tackle Alan Branch back in Foxborough reportedly. He will be a healthy scratch in this game, and that's a pretty big surprise given how well he played last season for the Patriots. They liked him enough to sign him to a 2-year contract over the offseason, and now he's being left at home. So that means the Patriots only have Lawrence Guy and Malcolm Brown as those traditional 300-pound interior linemen on the field. If either one of those guys goes down, then that means they have to use Adam Butler, who's a 280-pound undrafted rookie in an interior role that is definitely less than ideal. Buccaneers do run a lot of 3-receiver sets, however, so maybe the Patriots won't use that many of those base defensive sets. Maybe they will use some smaller players inside, like Trey Flowers, like Adam Butler, but it's something certainly to monitor to see if Guy and Brown can make it through this game. Both of those guys already have struggled a little bit this season just because of how much they've been used. The Patriots have not been utilizing Alan Branch very much in their defense this season. He has really struggled to defend the run. He's been getting pushed around, and that's probably why he's a healthy scratch in this game. Like we said, it's definitely surprising, but this also raises the question of what the Patriots will do with their injured reserve list. Right now, they have 3 guys who could potentially come off that list. That is Vincent Valentine, who's a 300-pound defensive tackle, Malcolm Mitchell, and Shea McClellan. A couple weeks ago, we were saying that McClellan and Mitchell were the obvious guys to bring off that list because the Patriots do need edge defender help and they need wide receiver help. But now, maybe Valentine is one of those guys to bring off. If they do bring off Valentine, that means that either McClellan or Mitchell's season is over. So that also is a bit of a surprise, but Patriots defense definitely has to rebound in this game. The Buccaneers have a high-powered offense, and they will have to do it without Alan Branch. We'll see how the Patriots' run defense holds up, and we'll also see if Alan Branch can actually make a return to this defense at some point. The Patriots did something similar last season with Jabal Sheard. He was left at home when the Patriots traveled to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Sheard regained his role, and he did that through proving himself in practice. So those practice reps for Branch are certainly important. He missed all of the preseason and the summer on PUP list. It seems like his conditioning and his strength might not be worked all the way back. He's 32 years old. He's 350 pounds. He's 6'6". Maybe he can't treat these off seasons like he has in the past and still expect to play at a high level. So that will do it for me here at Raymond James Stadium. Sending it back to you guys.
Zach, do you wish there was a pirate ship and tiki huts and palm trees at Gillette Stadium?
That's kind of cool. I was just saying that. It's been there for 20 years now, and I still don't know if I like it or not. It gives it a little bit of personality, but that's kind of cheesy to me. I don't know.
Definitely differentiates it from other stadiums. I have to give it that. Gives it some character.
I do like that personal flair, though.
Yeah, it reminds me of the pirate ship, the Jolly Pirates in Aruba. I don't know. I feel like if anyone's been to Aruba, you've been on Jolly Pirates. It's a good time. Shout out. Maybe they should start sponsoring us or something. But yeah, I mean, we got the lighthouse at Gillette Stadium. Anyway, reports coming out of Tampa that Gilmore and Roberts working out with some trainers. They looking like they could be a game time decision. If Gilmore is not a go, I don't think Patriots fans are going to be too heartbroken. But who's going to step in if he's out?
That's the point. I mean, yeah, according to Doug and some of the other reporters down there, both Landon Roberts and Stephon Gilmore were working out with trainers before the game. That's usually a sign that they have not yet made up their minds whether they will play or not. Both of them are listed as questionable. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore, obviously, we've talked ad nauseum about the struggles he's had this season, especially last game against the Panthers. But if he doesn't play, I mean, the Patriots don't have a ton of options there at that cornerback with Eric Rowe already out. Then beyond that, you have Malcolm Butler, Jonathan Jones, and then Johnson Batamosi, who's a talented special teams player, but he hasn't played at all on defense this season. And then even after him, you're talking about maybe moving Devin McCourty back to cornerback where he started his career, but then that takes away your best safety, and it's a big trickle-down effect. So as poorly as Stephon Gilmore has played this season, it would be a really big loss if he's not able to play tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this game is really important for the Patriots in terms of setting the tone. This is, I feel like, kind of when in the past when they have had early season struggles and you start to doubt them, this is kind of when they're able to turn things around. We talked ad nauseum about how, I mean, my opinion on that is that this isn't as easy of a fix as it was back in 2014 because it's the defense having issues. But looking at tonight specifically, since it is the defense we're worrying about here, I mean, Tom Brady's first in just about every category, playing lights out. Coming into this, I was going to say I do have a lot of confidence in the fact that the Buccaneers are 30th in total defense. So this isn't the Texans or the Panthers defense they're going up against. So if I had to pick one, whether it's who's going to play lights out, the Patriots offense led by Tom Brady or the Buccaneers offense, yeah, they have some good guys. Jameis Winston, good, not Tom Brady. Yeah. I think I would have gone with Tom Brady. Now the wrench thrown in that, though, is without Rob Gronkowski. But I don't know. I think even without Gronk, I still would lean to, I mean, if you have two bad defenses going against each other tonight and it's up to the offenses, I don't know. I feel pretty confident.
If I had to pick one of the offenses that's going to have kind of the more explosive game, I would definitely choose the Patriots. Even without Rob Gronkowski, obviously that really hurts their chances. But they still have Chris Hogan. They still have Brandon Cooks. James White will probably have a big game. Deion Lewis is in there, Mike Gillislee. They still have a ton of weapons on the offensive side, and obviously they have Tom Brady. And like you said, the Bucs defense, not particularly that good this year, and they are missing a couple players themselves. Levante David, I believe Quan Alexander, both of them are out. Gerald McCoy is going to be the big. I don't want to call him an X factor because he's one of the best interior defensive lineman in the entire league. But if the Patriots can kind of contain him, keep him away from Tom Brady, I think Tom Brady can attack this secondary, especially Vernon Hargreaves. He's a second-year cornerback, was a first-round draft pick last year. Really struggled a lot against Odell Beckham last week. Pro Football Focus has him down in the 90s in their cornerback rankings. And what's one more thing? Tampa Bay's pass rush, one single sack this season. Last in the NFL. We know that the Patriots have had some issues on the offensive line this year. Maybe it's a kind of a week where they can sort of remedy those. But we've said that the last couple of weeks it could also be a week where Tampa Bay maybe gets some pressure that they haven't been able to get so far.
Well, hopefully for Tom Brady's sake, that won't be the case, because certainly he has been knocked down. What is he? I was just looking at it. He's been hit a lot.
He's been sacked 13 times,
yeah.
been hit 27. Both of those are on pace for career highs for Brady. But I think this is a game where if the Patriots can keep Brady upright, I think that the Patriots offense will be fine, even without Rob Gronkowski. If you run into the situations that we've seen so many times in the past, where if Brady's going on the ground a lot early, then I think that could really kind of throw a wrench into their offensive plans. But as long as they contain Gerald McCoy, don't let him beat them, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, and also, like you said, I mean, the Bucs defense bad anyway, and then, I mean, several injuries. I think TJ Ward is doubtful
TJ Ward.
as of right now, which would say that Rob Gronkowski would be happy about that, but it looks like now they're both not going to play, or Ward may, but even if he does, nicked up. But looking at it sort of more big picture, if we don't see an improvement in the Patriots defense tonight, I guess what is that going to tell you? Because this is a middle-of-the-pack offense that they're going up against. Obviously, they did not do well against a very low, if not bottom of the pack offense last week in Carolina,
2 weeks in a row,
and Cam
really, with
Newton,
Houston,
who probably thinks that I'm not qualified to be doing a show like this. But anyway, if they're not able to turn things around, what's that going to tell you, I guess?
I mean, you can only say it's early for so long. I think everybody can kind of, if the Patriots turn it around now, we can look back and say, man, they were really bad in that first month. But once week 5 came, they turned it around, then they're okay. Like you said, we've seen that in the past with Patriots teams as a whole and with Patriots players. Like everybody's talks about Darrelle Revis was not that dominant early in his 1 year with the Patriots. Turned that around after week 5 or 6, and he was a beast the rest of the way. There's still a very good chance that could happen with Stephon Gilmore and with the Patriots defense as a whole. I'm not writing off the Bucs in this game, though. I mean, I watched their last game against the Giants, a team that had a very, very good defense last year. They had 6 plays of 25 or more yards. Jameis Winston, he's streaky. He kind of throws the ball to the other team more often than you'd like. But he's a gamer. He can play when he's dialed in. He's a very talented quarterback. He's got a guy in Mike Evans that is one of the best receivers in the entire NFL, and which will be a huge problem if Eric Rowe and Stephon Gilmore are both out. Mike Evans is 6'5". If both of those guys are out, the tallest Patriots cornerback is 5'10", I believe. That's not a great matchup for the Patriots. I think you're going to see a lot of Evans tonight, a lot of Deshaun Jackson. So there's a lot of weapons on this Bucs offense. So if the Patriots don't have a dominant defensive effort, I guess it's not I wouldn't be nearly as surprised as I was the past 2 weeks when the Texans and the Panthers kind of ran all over them. But eventually they need to at least prove that they can be a passable defense. Like we've said all week, they don't have to be awesome. They don't have to be dominant. They don't have to lead the league in points allowed or fewest points allowed as they did last year. They just have to be okay. Put them at 18, 19, 20 in the NFL, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be Super Bowl contenders. 32 in the NFL, not so much. But they need to show improvement this week, or else the panic meter is just going to keep going up and up and up. And
Evans definitely is a weapon that is going to be a threat to them tonight. How do you think they will cover him? I thought it was hilarious on Tuesday, short week. Doug Hyde, what was the word I used from?
Compadre?
Yeah. Anyway, you guys all know Doug. When he asked Bill who would be covering Evans and how do you match up with that, and I loved Bill's sarcasm when he said, well, we'd have to put Y's on him to match up physically. Mm-hmm. So how do you think they will cover him? Because also with the Gilmore struggles, Bill did say, you can't just put one guy on man and then not everyone else. And they've had so little time to kind of make those adjustments that I think, as you're saying, we do need to see tonight.
Yeah, I think you will see a mix. I think you'll see a lot of Stephon Gilmore on Mike Evans just because they match up a little better physically. Obviously, Evans still has a couple inches on Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is a very physical player. Too physical, some might say. He did get those penalties last week. But I don't think you're going to see much of Malcolm Butler one-on-one or Jonathan Jones one-on-one. I think it's going to have to be a group effort. Always with these kind of elite receivers, there are very few players in the league who can cover Mike Evans one-on-one down the field. But I do think if he plays, you'll see a lot of Stephon Gilmore. I mean, and the benefit of this offense too. Last week you saw we had Panthers had Kelvin Benjamin on one side and they had Devin Funchess on the other side, 6'5", 6'4". The Bucs do not really have that. Mike Evans is a physical freak, but Deshaun Jackson on the other side, a much smaller guy, very quick, good deep threat, all that, but he's not quite the imposing physical specimen as Mike Evans is. So the Patriots do have a little bit of wiggle room there. They're not going against two kind of towering wide receivers, but yeah, Mike Evans he's going to be the key to this offense in this game. If he has a big game, then the Patriots are going to be in trouble.
And yeah, if we see a bunch of blown coverages and the same product we saw out on the field tonight as we did on Sunday, as you've said and described,
yep.
I think we're having a completely different discussion next week when we are analyzing them going forward.
Yep.
And
I agree, and it's going to be just one more on this topic. If it's a kind of big mess like it was last week with just communication breakdowns and cover breakdowns, blown coverages, guys running wide open down the field, then we're going to have a big problem. If Mike Evans outjumps some guys and makes a couple big catches, that's going to happen to you. If the Patriots are in the right position and they just don't make the plays, that's not going to be nearly as concerning as it would be if kind of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks continues.
Yeah, completely agree. That's one thing we talked about on Between the Tackles. It's the communication issues, and as Doug said, that's not something that you notice when it's being done right. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to see from the defense tonight. I want to just not notice, just go out there, do your jobs. But if they're not communicating, that is very apparent, and it does kind of make it look like the wheels are coming off. And that's something so when I look at this, when you compare it to years past where they have had early season struggles, and knowing the success that Belichick and Brady have had together and throughout this dynasty, you don't really start doubting them quite yet. I feel like doubt is creeping in, but that tonight could be a turning point in one way or the other. So there have been the years where they've been able to turn it around. I'm not writing them off and saying that I don't think they can do that. I do, because it's Belichick, and in that debate, is it Brady or Belichick, I tend to argue Belichick. Do have a lot of confidence in him. But something feels a little different about this year, and this is a very non-statistical, non-analytical statement that I'm going to make. Is just kind of a vibe, I guess, a gut, just intuition. And it's things like there seems to be a discrepancy. And I don't want to bring up the national anthem thing in terms of talking about that in a political sense at all. But I had always said I didn't think that you'd see a guy kneeling for the anthem on Bill Belichick's team, one guy. It just seemed that discord in guys doing different things, and then seeing them kind of figure it out and everyone doing one thing the next week. Between that, now we're seeing Alan Branch, a healthy scratch. Just that, I don't know. Do you think that maybe they're not all on the same page the way we always talk about how Bill runs such a tight ship? So whether it's that they kneel for the anthem, don't kneel for the anthem, that's not the issue. I'm saying the issue that kind of sparked in my mind is that they're not all doing it together. And that has always been Bill Belichick's thing, is that he won't even give Tom Brady the credit that Tom Brady probably deserves, because it's the whole team. He's just talking about the team. Everyone does everything together. They're on the same page. I
agree. No, I'd be hesitant to say that their struggles have really much to do with the anthem, just because every team in the NFL went through the exact same conversations that the Patriots had to have. Was it a distraction? I'm sure it was. I'm sure there were meetings during the week that they had to have related to that rather than ones that were related to on-field performance. But I think it's because you saw it in week one too. I mean, before any of this national anthem stuff really elevated. You saw it against the Chiefs in week one, where Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt just kind of ran wild all through them. Defensively, they don't look like a normal Patriots defense. Like, I've been watching this team basically my entire life, and you don't see these kind of mental mistakes from a Patriots team, and you especially don't see them occur week after week after week for basically a month. I mean, 3 out of their 4 games this season have been disappointing defensive performances, and even in the game they won, there were still a good deal of blown coverages against the Saints back in week 2. It's strange to see a Patriots team or Patriots defense be this disjointed for so long, and it raises the question of what they have to do to fix it, because there are a fair number of new faces in that unit. But in the secondary, it's pretty much all the same guys, except for Stephon Gilmore swapped out for Logan Ryan. Obviously, you're not going to have the same level of communication and comfort with a guy that's just getting here, even if he has been here for 6 months, than with Logan Ryan, who was here for a while and then played with, and even before that, played with Devin McCourty, played with Deron Harmon in college. Those guys have known each other forever. Obviously, they're going to have a better rapport than a guy they just met. But these are all professionals. They need to get on the same page. And the fact that it's so alarming, I mean, this would be alarming for any team. It would be alarming if the Jets looked like this every single week. This is the Patriots. This is not Patriots defense that they're playing right now. And if it continues, like we were saying this week, it's hard to think of any quick fix other than they've just got to get it. They have to get it. They have to get on the same page.
It doesn't seem like there is a solution. And hearing Deron Harmon make some of the comments that he made after last week's game about we've simplified this defense as much as we possibly can. That's where, when I bring up the anthem again, I do not want the focus to be on the fact that I brought up the anthem and the kneeling and all of that, but it's the sense of disjointedness that Deron Harmon is making comments like that, and he's not the only one. We've heard the same
Devin McCourty
similar,
has said a lot of the same thing,
and that I don't know. I don't want to say resentment because, again, like you bring up, I mean, they're professionals, so this can't be a case of maturity or, I mean, a part of me wonders, Malcolm Butler, I feel like did everything. I mean, a system guy comes up through the system. Everyone loves him here. They choose not to pay him. They pay Gilmore. Is that creating, some kind of rift? And if other guys are seeing that, would they have preferred they keep Logan Ryan around? And now the whole unit is just not meshing with chemistry-wise. And I know that chemistry is something that either people kind of get in terms, or other people who are more stats-based are like, oh, why are you talking about chemistry? But right now we're seeing that chemistry kind of matters.
If chemistry didn't matter, then the Patriots would have one of the best secondaries in the league, because they are incredibly talented. They're just not on the same page. I don't know. Only the guys in the locker room know exactly what's gone into this. We're not in the meeting rooms. We're not watching film with these guys. We don't see them. I mean, we see the players for 45 minutes a day, maybe. And so there's a ton of stuff that happens where we're not around. So only they know the exact reasons behind why this chemistry has not really developed so far. But yeah, it's something that it's tough. I wish we had better kind of advanced strategic takes, but it's like they're not going to go out and get a player more talented than Stephon Gilmore. He just needs to get on the same page. It's as simple as that. It's
kind of a quandary. And the word that I just thought of that I haven't used is a very simple one, is maybe attitude. That's where I'm wondering if, while from the outside everyone looked at this as they made these great moves, maybe on the inside, did their attitudes change? Like, why are you bringing in Gilmore and going against the norm of what you usually do with free agent signings, giving this outsider all of this money? I think we predicted that Logan Ryan would leave, but not paying Butler.
I hesitate to say attitude, because attitude kind of has a connotation that the guy is a troublemaker, or he's not trying hard enough, or he's intentionally trying to go off script.
I'm saying the group as a whole.
I like the just the cohesiveness and the chemistry. I think chemistry is a much better word for it. Just a much better word for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's something that we're going to have to. We got yelled at by producer.
We are getting the wrap.
Yelled at by producer Andre.
We have 1 minute though. I knew that. I'm looking at the clock. But
something
that's where I'm just saying maybe attitude among the group. I'm not going to go so far as to say definitively that they're rebelling against the way things have always been and Bill Belichick's way.
I don't know. I think you're going.
It just doesn't seem. I know. That's what I'm saying. It is you can't put your finger on it quite, but just something feels a little bit different. But I think we'll have some answers. In summary, I think we'll have some answers after tonight, for sure.
Agree.
And then we will see where our conversation leads us next week. based on what happens tonight. And now it is 6:30 on the dot. So we are signing off. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week to Between the Tackles on Wednesday for all your Patriots news.